Hello and welcome to Vanessa Loves, where we have conversations about what really matters, a world where we feel deeply connected to self, others and the planet. And I am super excited today because Vanessa loves Laura and Barry Ash. How are you doing, guys, today?
Very good,
well,
thank you.
It's so good to see you. I just love watching you guys. And I just want to say, firstly, thank you so much for sharing this space with me today. And also, I just want to say I'm in total admiration of what you do in the world, the positive impact that you're having, but also who you are and how you show up. So let's just really start at the beginning, because I want to learn more and more about you and just highlight how fantastic you both are. So as you are married, please can you tell us all how you met?
Age before beauty, you go first. Well, we met.
In actual fact, you're older than me.
Well, we met when we was 3 and 4 years of age at preschool. So going back to a little bit different of the story, we started dating when we was, 18?
Like, seriously, I was 21.
You was 21, yeah, and I was 22-ish. And literally, we were going out for about 3 or 4 months. We started talking about where we went to school, where we went to preschool, primary schools, and so forth. And I went to this play school, and I used to play with this boy and this other boy, the Amazing Adventure Spider-Man. I was like, hey, this rings a bell. And I used to play with this girl and this other boy, the Amazing Adventure Spider-Man. So I asked her where he was. And it was this place called the YMCA Club in Dover. And I was like, what year was that? She told me. I was like, holy we met back then playing the Amazing Adventure Spider-Man. We both went our separate ways, went to secondary school, primary school, secondary school, college, university, whatever it was. And then we actually just met back up, and Loz walked into the gym I was working at. And it was like, oh, she come in with a boyfriend. How dare she?
Of course, because she knew you'd be there, didn't she? Fantastic. So I suppose that difference, you wouldn't have recognised each other then. And I suppose then you just sort of wave at each other and hi Barry, hi Laura, without actually maybe even knowing surnames. But then do you actually remember surnames of people you played with at primary
I'll tell you the truth. I kept having to ask my mate who I worked with in the gym, what's her name again?
Brilliant. I love that. Oh, so is that where the superhero thing comes from in your work and your themes?
I've always had, since primary school, playing the superhero game and so forth.
Yeah.
But deep down, I think I've always admired the superheroes just because of their physique. I was like, I want to look like that. I want to be like that. I want to be able to have them special powers. Yeah. And I think that's where my love from training come, and actually the sport people around me at the time.
I love that.
I think
use more comics, don't you?
I was going to say, if you were playing Spider-Man when you were 3 or 4, you know, where did that come from?
I was Firestar, and she does all like the fire and stuff. And I think I just love the superhero, especially the females, because they are so powerful. They're so independent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And for me, I really like that sort of thing.
I totally agree with you. I think because I'm very much the same. I love all that. My favourite was Wonder Woman when we were kids growing up, because and I think you're so right. They're independent, they're feisty, they're sassy, they're strong and all the rest of it. But equally, whether it's about whether you can fly or whatever, a lot of these superhero stories are really about integrity, aren't they? And honesty and truth. And, you know, whatever it is, it always comes back to beating the baddie, not by bashing them, but by just being centered and just...
From the place of love.
It's from a place of love, absolutely.
If you look at Wonder Woman, it is very much based around love, do you know what I mean? And you look at Superman, the same thing, you know, their backstories in terms of what they go through and how that emerges them as that kind of superhero. That's their power. And I feel like, you know, a lot of stuff that we all go through in life, some of us use it as a superpower and some of us kind of miss that, really. Do you know what I mean?
Well, absolutely. And it's that lovely meme that goes around social media, you know, you are you and that is your superpower. And I'm getting tingles actually as you're speaking, because I've never really thought about it like that, because like I say, Wonder Woman was my thing. In actual fact, I've got the theme song for Wonder Woman at the top of one of my playlists, the playlist I call I Am. And if you actually listen to the lyrics, it is profound, and it is all about, you know, the fact that coming from that loving centered place. And I think secretly we remember, and I think what we buy into is that's what we remember about who we truly are. isn't it? So I think there's a lot to be said for you, because on your website, I was saying to you earlier, I love this on your website. It's this beautiful image of you with your t-shirts on, and you've got your arms around each other. And Laura, your t-shirt says, "He's my superhero," and Barry says, "She's my Wonder Woman." And it's total admiration for, as I said this earlier before we came on, the fact that you love together, live together, work together. It just is in total admiration of that, because you don't see that very much nowadays, do you?
Yeah.
And I will have to say, it's not easy. It do have to work. And I think...
What do you mean? I'm perfect.
That's why it's so hard.
yeah, I love that. No, I know we're jesting, but we get that, don't we? It's not.
I think people see me and Loz and what we do and the way we are around each other, and they realise it's very easy to be like that. But there is a lot of work that goes on in the background of it, understanding each other, respecting each other, letting Loz do what she wants to do in her way, and let me do what I want to do another way. And it's that give and take, that push and the pull, the yin and the yang.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
sorry.
Oh, go straight. Carry on.
I just think ultimately, Baz and I know that we want to be together. We know that we love each other.
Yeah.
And we're both very much into, self-development and, energy work and all that sort of stuff. So, we just understand that we are two completely separate human beings, and we've had two completely separate upbringings. We even had a chat the other day about the way that you say something, your language. I interpret it in a certain way, but he doesn't mean it in that way, but it makes me feel that. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And we even were able to have a sensible conversation about that, rather than just being like, well, it's like, well,
it's open, honest communication.
Yeah, you have to, but
it's powerful.
Communication is two ways, and this is the one thing that I've learned in our relationship. Loz speaks, I listen. I speak, Loz listens, and it's not just listening to what they're saying, the words. It's about what they are saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like this. Loz says, "You're saying this in a really negative way," and it weren't meant to be. But now when I say it, I'm conscious about it. And I will reframe what I'm saying to Loz so it doesn't come across that way. And then we build on that.
While staying true, you can just reframe it, because it's important not to be pulled too off our centres, isn't it? But it seems like you really appreciate each other. And also a word you used before, Barry, was respect. So there's that mutual respect. I totally love you just as you are. And of course, we know when people love us just as we are, then we have every opportunity. We have the possibility and space to just blossom in that. And it's a little bit about the foundations of your work. So tell us, please, a little bit about RockSolid and how you got there. RockSolid for life.
It's your story, really, because RockSolid was grown from Laura, really.
Wow.
So I think if you tell the story, Loz.
Well, I was in the police force. I joined the police in 2004, and I was in the police for 10 years. And sort of around 2005, 2006, I started to become really unwell.
Right.
I was having panic attacks. I was having nightmares. I was crying for no reason. We were arguing.
We even went to relate. We thought it was us.
Yeah, because we thought it was us. Wow. I would stand at my locker, putting my stab vest on, burst into tears. And I just didn't feel happy, but I didn't know what was wrong with me. I just thought there was a lot going on. And it was my sergeant that said to me, Loz, you need to go to the doctors. Go home, make an appointment and go to doctors. I went to the doctors and I told him how I was feeling. I said, but I don't know how you can help me because I just don't feel great. And he said to me, and these were the words that probably changed the course of my life. He said, you have depression. I'm signing you off work and you're going to take these tablets. And I argued with him and I said, no, I don't. Hang on, no, I don't do depression. I'm happy-go-lucky. No, and he was like, "I'm sorry, but you're a police officer. The state you're in, you can't be at work. That's it. I'm signing you off."
Wow.
And then from there, just spiraled a mass amount of emotions. I was off for a few months. With depression, hit some really rough times, and then I would be completely elated.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing, isn't it?
I would have like major mania. Like I wouldn't sleep. I'd have loads of ideas. I'd spend loads of money. I'd be really loads energetic and chatty, and like I could take on the world. And then all of a sudden, I would then get depressed again.
Right.
And want to hurt myself and kill myself, but then I would get really happy again and be really like, ugh. So the doctor referred me to the mental health team, and in 2009 I got a diagnosis of bipolar and OCD.
Right.
And from that time, all of my duties were taken away from me in the police.
Right.
I wasn't allowed to do the 999 calls. I couldn't work shift work. And because I just couldn't cope. And in 2012 it got to the point where I went to see the forced medical doctor, and again another few sentences that changed my life. He said, now's the time. You either medically retire yourself,
wow,
or we do it for you.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Gosh, and at that point my 30-year career was just like, shit.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? So I decided to take the decision that I was going to medically retire myself. And I said, no, okay, I'll do it. And he went, right, that's it. And I was like, right, what's next? He goes, you go home and that's it. Wow. And I was like, well, I've got case files. He's like, no, you're not allowed back in the office. That's it.
Wow.
And it took them from the September 2012 until the June 2013 for me to be medically retired. So yeah, so in that time I was in limbo. I was like, well, what am I going to do? I don't want to get another job because I just faced the biggest, sort of rejection of my life in terms of my career, because I've always been a career person. I was 33 years old, medically retired, mental health. I couldn't see anybody giving me a job. So in the meantime, I'd been working on my body and, eating, training, working on understanding how habits and behavior work, my triggers, how the mind works. And we wanted to be able to help other people with that. We wanted to be able to help them to work on their mind, on their body, to become happier and healthier and more in control of their lives.
Fantastic.
And so on the 2nd of June 2012, I was medically retired. And on the 3rd of June 2012, at 13, RockSolid opened for business literally the next day.
So that, because it's, so we're just clear, it's personal training, body and mind.
So that's what it started off as, personal training, but we mainly focus ourselves around being health coaches. But that does include training the body, training the mind, training your food. Do you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. Because
the person, it's still personal training, even though PT, as other people see it, is physical training, actually weights and things. The person is in training to become their own master, I suppose.
So we have like 6 pillars of health, what we say, to be able to create your own version of health. And the 6 pillars of health are: number 1, sleep, water, food, exercise, which will be physical stuff, thought management, and then kind of me time, de-stress time. Me.
Wow. And just how different would our lives be if all those 6 pillars were in order, in play? And I don't mean like having all our ducks in a row, but as long as we were all aware of them. And because it's become so much more than, when, like we were talking about earlier with the superheroes, Barry, you were saying that, it's a physique of a superhero. You go, oh yeah, as a little boy, I want to look like that. But in actual fact, as any athlete knows, it is not just about pushing a few weights in a gym and running, is it? It's so much more than that. So what's your background? Absolutely.
My background, I started, as I said, I was into my fitness since I can walk. I can first remember I was playing football, athletics. I started racing motorbikes. I raced motorbikes around Europe, doing motocross. My first time doing weights, I think I was about 10 years of age. And I was just constantly being active. And I thought, what can I do to earn money doing this? So I got a job in the local sports centre as a fitness instructor.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Training every day, helping people every day, doing classes. I even taught legs, bums and tums and step aerobics.
Brilliant in those days.
Yeah, just to motivate you, eat your heart out. But the money was diabolical.
Shocking.
And one lad come into the gym one day. I said, "What do you do?" And he goes, "I'm a prison officer." And I was like, "Happy days. What does that involve?" "Locking up prisoners, da 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 da." But he goes, "I'm a PTI in the prison service. I'm doing what you're doing in the jails."
Wow.
And he was on like 20 to 30 grand. I was like, "Oh my God, I want some of that." So I signed up. I had to do 3 years of walking the landings, literally looking after the welfare of the prisoners, feeding them and social care and stuff like that with them. But I still had this burning desire to do physical training. So I applied and I spent 16 weeks up at Lilleshall National Sports Centre training to become a PTI.
Wow.
And that was doing everything from volleyball, basketball, hockey, Olympic weightlifting, to teaching in the classroom. So you come this whole package of a PTI. Went in there, spent the next 7 years in the gymnasium and loved every single minute of it.
Brilliant.
But the government started cutting staff. We started off opening the gym with 3 members of staff, and you had 10 prisoners each. So you felt pretty safe there. By the time I was finishing, there was me in the gym with nearly 100 prisoners. And
Wow.
like, you like, if something goes wrong now, something's going to go big time wrong. And I started not enjoying the job. You're worried about going into the job. Your anxiety was there. And then when Loz got medically retired, I had the choice of, do I stay in the prison service and we run RockSolid as a hobby? Or do I jump ship, join Loz with RockSolid, and we make a go of it? So we jump ship, and the rest is history. And RockSolid is just growing and growing and growing.
Oh my God, I'm getting tingles as you speak, because I didn't realise you'd actually kind of gone, draw the line. Wow, let's do this together.
I was on a full salary. I was on a senior officer salary, so I was on over 30 grand a year, and I jumped ship to doing like 4 grand a year.
Yeah,
just scraping by.
That's utterly amazing. But just quickly going back to the prison thing, did you learn so much in that environment? Because people are still people, whether they're in prison or not.
Yeah.
I got on really well with the prisoners because I had the mentality to say, if you treat me bad, I will treat you the same. If you treat me good, I will treat you the same.
Absolutely.
And I know if you can't fight fire with fire, but you learn how to deal with people.
Yeah.
And I think we are all human beings. They broke the law, but in their eyes, they were doing what they needed to do to get by in their life.
Do you know, it's fascinating. I'm so glad you said that, because I did some work in a prison last year, 2018, at the end of 2018. I've always wanted to work in prisons around, because my game is emotional health, which is why I'm fascinated with what you guys do. And I was the emotional mentor that was looking after or accompanying a theatre team that were in there. So while they were learning, all the residents, as they called them, while all the residents were the cast of a production, I was in there to help them write their biographies and just really to sort of be their mate and just sit with them and stuff. I learned so much. And one of the key things that one of the girls said to me is, she said, we all make shitty choices. It's just that I broke the law with mine and you haven't.
Yeah.
And exactly what you just said, you know, where that's kind of paraphrasing, so I'm not actually allowed to repeat what they've said. But it just really made me wake up, and I think, you know what, we only do what we do because it's what we know how. We only do with what we know how. And we're still people. I loved these girls. They were great. And I would be in there each day, morning ladies or morning so-and-so, and they'd sit and chat to you. And it's like, I forgot I was in a prison with people that had murdered others and all the rest of it. And it was just, because I just love people. So it's about bringing out, seeing the beauty in the person, regardless. And a lot of that can be hidden up in people's stories that keep them unfit and unwell. And they don't realize that they have actually got everything in them that's possible. Because you cracked me up, Laura, when you said, no, I wasn't always into fitness. And because you've got an amazing physique, you just look incredible. You just always look really, really fresh, as in your skin. And that's not, you know, we can't look well and sparkly eyed, can we, if we treat our bodies
and
badly?
It's because I work on the 6 pillars of health that RockSolid teach. Exactly that. It's because I work on it. And for me, you know, I mean, I've only ever been like 2 stone overweight, nothing massive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, I did a couple of bodybuilding shows because I wanted to prove that it doesn't matter what label or disability you have, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
But I've learned so much now, and for me, it's just about being the healthiest person I can be, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
So my training now is very much, what can I get my body to do? Because I honestly, I hated PE. I would always see if I could get out of there. I was on the hockey team. I don't know why. I think I did it because it's a cool thing to do. And I was like, do not put that ball near me. But now it's very much, I'm enjoying my exercise more now. I'm fitter and stronger than I ever used to be.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm curious about what my body can do and what I can achieve.
Absolutely, because we all know what it's like when we wake up feeling unlovely and crappy. We also know what it's like to wake up and go, oh God, you just feel amazing. So there's the choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So easier said than done, for sure. So that is that what RockSolid is about? Because the other 4 things I got from your website and from learning from what you do is you're simple, you're satisfying, you're sustainable, and the support.
Yeah.
You know, you can get all sorts of health coaches that can teach you some basic things, but that's it from beginning to end, isn't it?
So like for us, we're very much about helping people understand their mind so they can control their body.
Yes.
And find their own version of health, which is simple.
Yeah.
Which is satisfying, which means it's sustainable, and we do it within a supportive community. Because I don't think that we can achieve anything as much as we could do on our own as if we were to be surrounded by others.
I totally agree with you. We are actually here, and it's one of the human needs, isn't it? It's connection and that support and appreciation. So do you find, so have you got communities then with Barry? What is it you've got set up that takes people through these steps and makes them aware of these 6 pillars?
So we've got different programs we run, but the big one we run is the 365 group, which is our community group. And within there, we run mini workshops every month. So, and it works on being simple. Anything we do is simple. We get enjoyment out of it because we get that reward of actually completing something, and we see progress. And it's that word progress we get our guys to do. It doesn't matter whether it's I walk to the end of the drive and back, or I walk 10 miles and back.
Yeah.
It's progress for that individual. And we get our guys to have these individual goals so they can get that progress and get that feeling. And then they get that satisfaction from it.
Yeah.
And then we cycle that through and it becomes super sustainable for them.
The thing that we see a lot of is that people will yo-yo all the time.
Yeah.
You know, the most difficult part is, well, in actual fact, we're actually pretty good at get going, because how many of us have started so many times?
Exactly.
The thing is sticking to it.
Yeah.
And what we've noticed is that, number one, people haven't got their health foundations in place.
Yeah.
All they've done is they've gone, right, I'm going on a diet. And it's like, well, have you thought about your sleep? Have you thought about your water? Have you actually thought about making food simple and satisfying, and the same for exercise? So that's like one part. But then the other part is, well, your habits and behaviours. And do you actually think you're worthy of losing weight and being happy? Because a lot of us go, yeah, I want to lose weight. But the problem is 9 times out of 10, we've gained the weight because we stopped taking care of ourselves for some reason.
Absolutely. And it's that reason, isn't it?
Yes.
Totally. Yes. But it's like any kind of addiction, because I got to the point where I had to lose 6 stone after having my son.
Wow.
So pregnancy didn't really agree with me anyway. But all through my adult life, I loved my sports. That was the only thing I lived for at school, you know, and running and any team sport or any sport, I was there. I was on it, you know, team captain of all the stuff, because I just loved it. And it's only when I got to being an adult that, you know, and you go to college and you start working, that I didn't fully understand or appreciate the importance of still having exercise in my life. And if I didn't have as much exercise in my life, to eat less. So food was definitely one of my addictions, for sure. And it's about, you know, if I am, whatever it is I'm looking for outside of myself, this is my kind of having lived with addiction and an addictive partner, it's horrible, really, because you do lose yourself in it. But anything you're looking for outside of yourself to fill a unfillable void from within is just ain't going to work. So the only way you can do it is to fill it up from the inside, beginning with self and understanding where your emotional pain is, where you're stuck, whatever it is, because you can fill your face or snort this or spend that or whatever, but it's just never gets fake pleasure.
Exactly. Here's the thing, a lot of people are going on diets, they're doing plans, and really they're wasting their time, their money and their energy. Because if you're an emotional eater, if you don't feel you're worth it, if you have beliefs and values around diets and everything, you are literally just wasting your money.
Yeah, and it's tiring.
Yeah,
because you're applying the physical to something which is what I call the kind of like, you know, the outside, the end result, if you like. You're applying the end result and trying to change the beginning.
Your flesh sack. This is our flesh sack.
Flesh sack, I've never heard it called that. I call it the earth suit.
This is my flesh sack. And I've got to look after my insides, so my flesh sack is lovely.
I love that.
I'm sorry, but you know,
it's true though.
You've got dark humour, haven't we? You come from a police and a prison background, you get a dark humour, and you just are a certain way.
You've just seen the worst of the worst as well as the best of the best, haven't you? Now with, you know, the full spectrum of human beings, if you like. Because it is so important. So that's really fantastic that you're able to educate, inform, support, guide. And one of the conversations we had before we came on air was doing the do, but also walking your talk. And I just said, it's so evident that you do what you talk about. You put your money where your mouth is, if you like. You practice these. So anybody looking at you would go, clearly what they're doing works, right? So we would want to join in. And there is something, as we understand energy as we do, there is something undeniable about energy and the truth. And you can look amazing, and you can say, this is what we do, these are our principles, and these are our programs, and we'll help and support you. But there is a lot of people I find who say these things, but don't actually do these things. So, and there is a massive difference, I think, with the audience. You feel a resonance with you. It relates to you and it speaks to you. And that's what I think is so special and unique about you guys. Because I know lots of personal trainers, right? And I know lots of people helping other people in the lifestyle industry and health and all the rest of it. But with you guys, it's definitely, it's the authenticity and the realness about you, and the unique package of it being.
It's like with me and Baz, you know, I have my struggles, you know, and I've been having a struggle just recently. But you know what? I'm not ashamed or afraid to admit that.
Yeah.
Or to show vulnerability, because in a world where everything is fake, right? Yeah. Like magazines, everything we look is fake. Yeah. In a world where everything's fake, I think it's so important to be real, because Baz and I we don't ever want anyone to feel like they're on their own with what they've got to go through. Yeah. And that's why, I'm open and honest. And great, do the 6 pillars, but they're never going to be in balance. There's always going to be one that drops or whatever. And that's the realness of life, isn't it?
Yeah, I think with the way the world's going at the moment with social media and what we see on social media, we're looking for that word perfection in our lives. Yeah. And when we hold on to that word perfection, I'm not going to be there until it's perfect. Yeah. We're never going to be there. And we're always tripping over that word perfection. Yeah. And when we keep tripping over, we beat ourselves up, because that's all we ever see. The perfect body, the perfect house, the perfect car, the perfect dog groomed and whatever you. Yeah. I think perfection doesn't exist.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's exhausting.
Yeah, progression does. And that's where we want to focus our energy, getting our guys to be a little bit better than they was yesterday.
But the thing is, it's like when our clients come to us, they're enough for us just as they are.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And, you know, for us, it's like, okay, well, let's get you aligned with how we see you in that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's all it takes. We've all got it within us. It's just a few tweaks. That's it. Whereas I feel a lot of stuff in the fitness industry is very much about get shreddy, get lean. It's like, bore off. Well, let's deal with what we really need to deal with.
Absolutely. So they come to you, clients are drawn to you, or people are drawn to you because they're asking themselves the questions of, actually, how can I feel more well? What is it I perhaps need to apply to my life, or what do I need to understand about myself to be able to constantly evolve? Because, you know, even if you get to have a goal, it doesn't end there. It's totally about the journey, isn't it? Because I remember the last time I woke up, oh God, I think it was the beginning of 17, and I recognized that I needed to completely change my story. And that's for me where Naked, the concept of that I run my business with, was born, because it was about who did I need to become in order to live just the life of my choice, right? My blissful life, as I call it. And it was about being physically strong, mentally sound, emotionally expressive, and spiritually connected. And they were my 4 pillars. So then I just broke all those down, and it became, I absolutely adored it. It was tricky in the beginning, because I felt very, very stuck. And I was at a point in my life where I was on my own. I had 2 teenage children. I just lost the house I was renting. So the 3 of us had just moved in together after leaving their dad. And we were back on our own again at my parents'. And I was just like, oh my God, who's going to want me? Where am I going? I've got nothing in my life, particularly apart from myself, my 2 beautiful children, and my friends, etc., etc. But I didn't have anything really to show for my hard work in life. And that's the key thing to mention there, is materialistically. So I got very clear about what did physically strong look like. So it was eating it as it grows, nourishing my body, conditioning my body, relaxing my body, all of those things. And it became I broke it down into a plan. And I must have spent a couple of hours a day at the beginning, really working on my energy and my emotional health, my mental health, all of that. I absolutely loved it. But what I recognized was, I gave myself 9 months to really focus on it. And I just pulled in all the support I could, and I really applied myself to my learnings. And I thought, once I get to 9 months, that'll be it. I'll feel strong and I'll attract the man of my dreams, and, and my business will be booming and all the rest of it. And you get to 9 months and you go, actually, I've enjoyed myself so much. My learning was, it was about who I had become, not about what I was going to get as a result of that. And that for me is where I love the idea of your 365 community, because it is a every single day journey. You can't, you can't rest and get complacent and you think, oh, I've got to my goal weight, or I feel this good in my life, my business is here, or my relationships are here. You've got to keep working at it. It's bite sizes every day.
Like a relationship, I treat Loz as I did on the first date, because when you go on a first date, you treat them really well, don't you? you woo them, because you know what's going to happen. If you do that every single day in a relationship, your relationship will still have that spark every day. I wake up every morning and think I'm a lucky man. Sometimes it's like, what do you want? Don't breathe on me. Don't breathe on me. But I appreciate Loz for who she is. And we always go to bed. If we have an argument that day, because you do have arguments, we never go to sleep on an argument. And I will always give Loz a kiss goodnight before we go to bed.
And tell each other we love each other before we go to bed.
And it's meant. It's not just a word we say.
Absolutely.
It comes from your heart rather than just from your head.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I always remember one of my gurus I loved, Dr. Wayne Dyer, said that
I love Wayne Dyer.
He's amazing, isn't he? Oh, he's been my lifesaver in all this journey. And he said that if ever he's had a squabble with his wife, he might say, we might not like each other very much at the moment, but how can we be kind? Yeah. And it's exactly that, because at the end of the day, whenever we react badly, or we're offended, or we're triggered in any way, it's just a reminder that there is some part of us that still just needs a bit of attention, a bit of healing, a bit of appreciation. It's just a part of us maybe that we just need to look at deeper. And that is why, again, I just love your program so much, because it just covers all of that. Just covers all of that. So how can people join in, find out more about what you do? What programs and things have you got available? Because obviously they're different people with different needs within their well-being journey, or their goal to really feel good in themselves.
I mean, fundamentally, the thing is, we always call it the ABCDE. So the first thing we need to do is, acknowledge what's going on, and then create awareness.
Love that.
And once we've got that, we can then build habits, build foundations, and then we can look at changing habits and behaviours. So the best way to start, we say, come into 365.
Yes.
Come in, do Freedom 7, which helps them to create awareness and acknowledge. Then we say to them, do Freedom 28 after that, which builds their health foundations.
So would that Freedom 7 be like 7 days? So it's
7 days.
Bite-sized 7 days.
Absolutely.
And building them up to 28.
Yeah. And
wow.
then and then let's hit F90 and let's really look at changing those ingrained habits and behaviors, because people want quick wins. And you know, F90 isn't a quick win, it's 90 days. And we want to be able to get you on the ball rolling, and then we can hit it with the mental and emotional stuff.
I love that, because what I did for myself in 2017 was F90 3 times effectively, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's quite a big goal, and you know, I've been through so much, and I've learned so much about myself, and I'm somebody who doesn't give in, and I don't necessarily give up, but I do recognise when there is a line in the sand. Vanessa's got to make a choice. So when I set my mind to it, I'm good to go. But I love the idea of that people are very much like, come in, do 7 days, progress, Barry, as you called it. Look at the progress you make in 7 days. Woohoo! Celebrate that. Oh God, now I feel excited. I could do that times 4.
Yeah, exactly.
And then times
F7 is about creating awareness. And when you do F7, and I'll invite you to come along and have a look.
I'd love to. I'm going to sign up. Sign me up.
It's going to open your eyes to what the possibility is of your life.
Brilliant.
And this is what we want to do, is create the possibility. The ideology of that there is a different life out there for you. You just got to find that route and walk the walk.
Yeah, get excited about it.
It doesn't just stop there, because you've got D and E. D is develop oneself further, and then E is educate yourself. And that's what happens after all of F90. We've got other programs that run, the Pound Blueprint, the Food Transformation, all of that stuff.
Brilliant.
They can get all of that in there. Do you know what I mean?
Even jogging your noggin. We've got a program that teaches you how to journal and the benefits of journaling every day.
So,
fantastic. And this is so profound, really, isn't it? Because you didn't just Google this stuff and go, oh yeah, let's add that. You've lived this, and I love this. I love it, because I totally appreciate that we teach what we need the most, which makes us the best teachers. Right?
Yeah.
I can't do what I do in the world if I don't live and having been through what you've been through, so you can experience it and teach in that place. Because the other thing I heard my girlfriend say years ago was, you can't teach what you do not know, and you cannot lead where you do not go. Right? So who on earth would join in and really give of themselves, their money, their time, their energy, if you don't have that experience? Because then when they come up against their own, you know, in their minds there, or they get stuck in a program, you're not going to sit there and go, oh Baz, what should we do? I don't know how to help this person. You're going to know, because between you, you've kind of, for want of a better expression, dipped your finger in many pies. So you kind of got an experience of all of it to be able to bring that to the table, to the program.
One thing our guys say to us, they say, we know them better than they know themselves. Because before they even ask for help, we jump in and say, what's going on?
Yeah, love that.
Come on, now tell me the true story.
Yeah.
How do you know that? What's going on?
I think that also comes from our careers as well, in police and prison. You get to know people on a different level when you do
extreme.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you're taught to read people as well. Do you know what I mean? So
very much so. Again, it's an energy thing, isn't it? And it's not what they say; it's what's behind what they say.
Energy is transferable. Oh,
love it. Do you feel it as well? Then do you? Because I know I do when I'm working with people. Absolutely.
We still kind of fit into our police roles, because I was more in investigation, so I poke and prod and probe, whereas Baz is very much just do it, and I'm very much I'm going to pod and probe. So they'll go to Baz first, and he'll be like, just do, if they come up against the wall, it's like, right, you need to go and see Loz now.
Brilliant.
You know what I mean? So it's very much, we kind of play on that as well.
And also male female.
Yeah.
Well, so gender as well as
However, they often say if they want a bit of love, they come to you. If they want an arse kicking, they come to me.
But that was my next thing. It's like masculine and feminine energies are two very different things as well. So as individuals, we have both, don't we?
We done a test about, was it a couple of years ago?
We did it with Doc Voice.
Doc Voice. We've interviewed him a couple of times, and he's a good friend of ours. But Loz was 90% masculine, and I was 90% feminine.
Love that. See, that's again probably why you balance each other out too.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, but it's funny because I have to really be conscious about dropping into my feminine.
yeah.
But then I have to allow Baz to be in his masculine because I don't want to
No, she don't. I make sure I'm in my masculine.
But you know what I mean? So it's very much in the business.
Yeah.
I take the lead role.
100%.
But then in our outside relationship,
I take the lead role.
well, I'd
You're the
let him.
superhero
I'll let
when
him.
you let him. Absolutely. But that's again the mutual appreciation, isn't it? Because however fierce and independent you might feel as Wonder Woman, you know, in your space, we all just so want to lean into a beautiful, strong pair of arms and just be led. It's like a dance, isn't it? And that's one of the things I learned when I did salsa. I learned that flipping heck, I'd been in my masculine so much in my marriage that I didn't know how to be led. So I had to really lean into my feminine energy and really allow myself to feel vulnerable and open myself and receive as well.
Yes.
Because obviously the masculine energy is giving and the feminine energy is receiving. And I wasn't receiving, which is why I felt so out of balance. So it just...
I think that's why the superheroes connect with us so much, because they've got these two egos, haven't they? You've got Superman, you've got Clark Kent, or you've got Kal-El, and they have to go in and out of these roles to fit in with who they are in society.
Absolutely, and consciously too, which is key.
Oh, massively.
So that we actually get to choose then how, you know, how we show up in the world. I just, you know, I could sit and talk to you for hours, you guys. Amazing. I want to sign up to your program. So where can anybody else find you? We'll put all the links in with the video as well. But where's the best place to find out what you're doing and how people can follow you?
Do you know what? Just come and follow us on social media and get an idea of who we are, what we talk about, and if you would like to work with us, because that's the best thing. You've got to connect with your coaches. So we're on RockSolid, which is we're on Facebook, which is RockSolid Healthy, and then Instagram we're RockSolid UK.
Wonderful.
But also drop us an email, laura@rocksolidforlife.com, and more than just sign up to anything, I'd just like to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, it all begins with a conversation, doesn't it? I mean, God, I've learned so much about you both. I would love to chat further, and I know we will, because we're doing more work and stuff together anyway. And once this lockdown is out the way, it would just be awesome.
Party!
Catch up and just, you know, have some fun together. You just seem like my kind of people. But so just one very quick question, and I never prep anybody for this question, but with the work that you're doing for RockSolid for Life in the world, what positive impact do you see it having in the future? How would the world look if RockSolid was what people live their lives like?
You can go first, because it's up there.
No, it's within me though, really. For me, it's very much about helping people to take ownership of their health and well-being so they can be happy and healthy. You know, we align ourselves with goal number 3 from the
global goals,
and you know, we want to be able to help reduce non-communicable diseases like, you know, heart attacks, diabetes, that sort of thing. And I feel by doing the 6 pillars, understanding your mind to control your body, that's the best way of living a happy, healthy life.
So really just for people to be very well beings, which is the opposite of illness, isn't it?
To get rid of disease. And I know if we are happier, we are healthier in our lives. And if I can create happiness in somebody and they take responsibility to look after their own health, my job is done. That is just phenomenal to do, because I love to be around people who take ownership of their health and they can live pain-free. They can get rid of disease throughout their life and live a long and happy and healthy life.
I love that. And do you know what? We're both on the same page, but coming from it with a very different way. But I'm the same as you guys. Is I just don't want to see people struggle anymore. I don't want them to be ill. I don't want them to be in pain. I don't want them to be unwell. I want to see people really thrive, but really just live the life that they truly do want to live, whatever that looks like for them. You know, full of all the things they love, beautiful connections with people. And, you know, my top values being love, fun and kindness. This has been an incredibly loving space. I've had so much fun, and I think you are beautifully kind. So it has been an absolute joy. I would love to just stay in touch and just do more of these so we can just highlight the fantastic work you're doing in the world. I really, really appreciate you being with me today.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thanks for having
Really
us.
appreciate you.
It's been amazing.
Right. I just love you. I just, like I say, I can't express, my words are failing me as to how beautiful you are as people inside and out. And dare I say, thank you for showing up as you do individually, as a couple, and with the work that you're doing, because it's really helped me have faith in the fact that beautiful people can create beautiful change. So thank you so much. God
You're
bless you.
welcome. Thank you
Thanks
so
for having
much.
us.
It's
Thank
been
you.
so, bless you. I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.